Hey everybody, welcome to ICMK. So, I wanted to throw in my 2 cents on everything about all the drama that's been going on with MK1 lately, with the leaks. So, you probably already know, but in case if you don't, a known leaker, known credible leaker for Mortal Kombat 1, Fate Unknown, let loose about a week ago some information regarding the cancellation of basically year 3 for Mortal Kombat 1. This was going to include another story expansion and 6 more DLC characters. Those 6 characters being Jade, Kun Jin, Cassie Cage, which those 3 were actually leaked before the game even came out, if I recall correctly. Like this whole Combat Pack 3 plan was known before, it was leaked out before the game even came out, if I'm not mistaken, or shortly after it came out, one or the other. But yeah, so those 3, as leaked long time ago, were planned for Combat Pack 3, along with Kano and Sonya Blade. And then for the 6th character, they were going to try to get a highly requested guest character. Not certain who that would have been. I don't think they had it solidified at all on who it would have been potentially. But yeah, 5 returning MK characters that we're not going to get now. And that kind of sucks. On one hand, that kind of sucks. MK, on the other hand, if this means that we get a new Mortal Kombat a little faster, we'll see. I'm kind of fine with that if we get just a whole new MK game, because MK1 is just not it. Definitely did not meet expectations, fell very short of them, though I can still get some enjoyment from the game at least. I don't think it's all bad, but it's the worst of the NRS era, without a doubt, as far as the MK side of things go, at least. So Kano and Sonya being included, we're planning to be included into the Combat Pack 3. I find that pretty interesting as well. My guess is that, well, the reason why I find it interesting is because this is the first that I heard of those 2 actually being leaked to be main roster characters. Just speculation on my part, but I'm guessing that Jade, Cassie Cage, and Kun Jin were all planned before the game even came out, as well as the plan to have a year 3 in Combat Pack 3 before the game even came out. But that Kano and Sonya probably weren't part of the plan originally. They probably were going to do 3 MK and 3 guests again, but then for some reason after the game came out, maybe just not getting good enough individual sales of the guest characters, or maybe they were even getting outsold by MK characters individually, perhaps. I don't know. That's just pure speculation. But something post-launch, it seems like to me, most likely post-launch, made them change their mind on how many guest characters they were going to have in Combat Pack 3, from instead of having 3 to just having 1. That's just my guess. That's just my theory. I don't know. Not that it really matters now since it's all canceled. But I would have been totally fine with that anyways. I'd rather have MK characters. Going back to the story expansion, I mean, after what the base story of MK1 is, this new era set up, and what the expansion of Chaos Reigns was, like, I wouldn't have any high hopes for another story expansion for MK1 really being anything all that great. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out potentially to be worse than Chaos Reigns. But I'm still curious, like, what they were going to do. Were they going to circle back around to stuff with General Shao being loose and whatnot, and all the stuff that these Indians have like left off at, or was it going to be another like side story, like focused around Jade a lot? or something, like, or was it, or like, how would Cassie Cage, like, was Cassie Cage going to be a part of the story? How would that even work? Would she even be Sonya and Johnny Cage's daughter? Would she even be Cassie Cage? Maybe she would come in to the game and they'd actually call her Cassie Blade. Who knows? I don't know what they would have done, but that would have been interesting to see if they would have brought Cassie Cage into the story, into the mix, in the actual story, and how that would have worked out. Like, I mean, because they took Takeda, and instead of being Kenshi's son, turned him into his cousin just to make it work out, you know? Like, even though that seemed unnecessary, and when you think about it, it doesn't even really make that much sense. At least in my opinion. It just doesn't make much sense. Anyways, yeah, all this leaked content was, or leaked news has really just blown up everywhere, and I don't normally talk about stuff like this that much, but I figured what the hell, I wanted to throw in my 2 cents on what all this means and where's Mortal Kombat going from here. There's potential that we'll still get a couple, like 1 or 2 new cameos, just because of how much work had already been done on them, but even that's not guaranteed right now. It's hard to say. It's kind of up in the air if we'll get any new cameos or not, but maybe we'll get 1 or 2. So maybe one of the cameos will be Jade, since we won't get a full character, main roster character of her now. Maybe they'll get a Jade cameo out at least. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, you know. Maybe it could be Chinook, or maybe a MK2 version of Liu Kang would be pretty cool in my opinion. I wouldn't mind that, even though we already have, you know, Liu Kang. I wouldn't mind seeing like the actual proper representation of Liu Kang, because this new era Fire God Liu Kang just, I don't know, something about it rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, when you think about it, we got more canceled than what has been stated and what's mainly talked about. I mean, not even just, you know, we might get 1 or 2. If we don't, then those were canceled. Not to mention, who knows how many other more cameos. Perhaps like a few more, you know, maybe we're gonna get like 5 more or something overall. I mean, like, who knows? Who knows about what potential other new stages or, you know, stage variants we potentially could have gotten in the future. What about the balance patches that we would have no doubt have gotten? So now basically, like, that's at least, you know, probably like a half dozen or so balance patches that they kind of canceled in a way. So instead of the game being done after, you know, fucking say after Sonya and Kano comes out, whoever comes out last with Kombat Pack 3, and then them doing like 1 final patch after that and being done, instead after the Kombat Pack 2, 1 final patch, maybe 2 at the most is my guess, then it'll be done. But we'll talk about more of that in a sec. But yeah, like, what else could we possibly have gotten? Like, I know people wanted a 1 versus 1 mode, or potentially that tag mode that actually in the code. Though I highly doubt that we would have gotten either one of those ever, unless maybe at the very, very end. But I feel like we most likely wouldn't have gotten either of those ever anyways, just because of them wanting to be able to sell cameos, and them putting in a non-cameo mode would, in their eyes, hurt cameo sales if they were to sell them individually or in packs or whatever. But who knows? We could have maybe gotten 1 or both of those modes. Maybe at some point, or just at the very end, at least, and we're just not going to. You know, who knows what else what other changes or things they could have made. It's just gonna be up. You know, we'll never know what could have been. That is what it is. What is next for Mortal Kombat 1 though? Well, Pro Series number 2 is going to be starting this next year, starting in Mexico. So we got another Pro Series for the game. So there's that, at least, to help keep the game relevant for the time being. What's also going to help keep it relevant is if it is at the main stage of EVO in Las Vegas. Is it going to be there on the main stage? If it's not, then that's going to be a huge hit to its relevancy. I hope it will be for the game's sake. I hope it will be, and I think it kind of deserves to get some kind of second chance spotlight at EVO, because the game has changed drastically since the last EVO, and the game is in such a much better place now than it used to be. I think it'd be a lot more interesting to watch this time around than it was before. But we'll have to wait and see if it even makes it to that. I could understand why it wouldn't, because of low numbers. How low are they? If they're getting beat out by so many different things, if they did last year, this last EVO, got beat out by so many different things, we'll have to wait and see, you know, because what matters to them the most, bottom line, is what brings in the money. And if Mortal Kombat's not bringing in the money for EVO, then it's not going to be there. But we'll see. Well, what's also going to help keep it relevant for some months going forward into this new year is that we still have the rest of Kombat Pack 2 to come out. We have the T-1000 Terminator and Conan the Barbarian coming out. When, we don't know exactly. Hasn't been any official release dates. I feel like some people are jumping the gun thinking after this Scorpion Spectre season in MK1 that at the end of it is when we're gonna get the next guest character, but I feel like that's an assumption. Who knows? That they might want to get them out real fast. They might want to stretch them out a little bit longer than people are expecting. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for sure. But nevertheless, we have those two characters coming out. We definitely got more balanced patches coming out. Hopefully, we have another cameo or two coming out as well. We'll have to wait and see. And so, there's still some stuff to look forward to. It's gonna have, Ghostface came out recently. Ghostface is actually a lot of fun. T-1000 and Conan the Barbarian, I could see both of them potentially being a lot of fun, but I just have my own imagination of what they might play like, but we really have no idea. But it's gonna be fun when they come out and to just mess around with those characters, and then whatever final balance patches they do, and whenever they come out and say, yep, here's the end of it, here's the final patch, then we're going to be able to sit down and be like, alright, this is it, this is what we got for this game forever now. But yeah, pretty much MK1 is coming to an end here probably by mid this next year, so we might have about 6 more months of real life of this game. I don't even know if I will continue playing it. Like, I'll continue to play it because I'm such a big MK fan that my fandom is what's kept me playing it this whole year plus. Dealing with all the garbage that we've had to deal with in this game's first year. I bared through all of it because of my fandom for the game, even though I can definitely say Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 are better games. Because they are better games, when we're at the end of MK1, I could see me dropping it as my main fighting game and actually moving on to most likely Tekken 8, though, you know, I'm not bad in Street Fighter 6 from when I was last playing it. But Tekken 8 kind of appeals to me a little bit more. Tekken 8, what I like about it is that it's the closest thing I've played to Mortal Kombat X since Mortal Kombat X. Because that's how it feels to me. And Mortal Kombat X is probably my favorite fighting game of all time, so that's what I like about Tekken 8. It actually reminds me slightly of Mortal Kombat X, so that feel of it is what I enjoy. And I wish Mortal Kombat was, you know, I wish Mortal Kombat 1 was more like that. I wish Mortal Kombat 11 was more like that. So, it is what it is. But I'm definitely going to still be, for now, be playing Mortal Kombat 1 mainly. I still enjoy playing the game to an extent. It's not that I don't enjoy it, it's just that this game frustrates me more so than any Mortal Kombat game ever before. So what's going to be next for Mortal Kombat? Or NRS in general? You know, MK1 only has sold somewhere from 4 to 5 mil. That's far less than they were probably expecting, even though that's made them money though. That's, you know, that sold far less than MK11, which sold about 15 mil in the end, but I think in the first year it was probably like 10, 11, something like that. 12 maybe in the first year. Either way, far less than, you know, MK1 has done far less than MK11, MK X, and even MK9. So what were they probably? They were probably expecting like probably at least 10 mil in the first year. They were probably expecting 10 million copies sold in the first year for MK1, and didn't even meet half of that. That's my speculation. I don't know if that's what they were expecting, but Mortal Kombat 1 still has sold 4+ million copies. What else are they, you know, it still made WB money. Even though it didn't make them nearly as much as they expected, it still made. So when you think about, well, what is going to be their next game? What's going to be the next big release? Well, they've been working on something. Is it going to be Injustice 3? Are we going to get Injustice 3? Well, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe not, because Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 just don't sell. You know, they kind of showed that those won't sell as good as Mortal Kombat. And even a bad selling Mortal Kombat game in Mortal Kombat 1, from my memory, has sold better than what Injustice 1 or Injustice 2 did. Maybe even combined. I'm not sure exactly because I can't remember their numbers, but I know they weren't that high. What are they working on? Is it another Mortal Kombat? Or are they just going straight to another Mortal Kombat, third time in a row? Which would be perfectly fine with me. I would not mind that whatsoever. Some people might think, well, maybe it's going to be MK versus DC. Well, there's actually been some posts from Ed Boon on social media that suggest otherwise, that unless he's, you know, trying to just throw out a red herring there, he's basically deconfirmed in a sense that the next project is going to be MK versus DC Universe 2. That doesn't seem like that's on the table. Though, you know, so Injustice 3 or Mortal Kombat 2/13. Well, they've been working on something already. They've already, if I'm not mistaken, been working on another game on their next game since before the release of MK1. So I don't know how far in development they are with it or anything, but who knows what the hell it could be. Is it going to be, since Mortal Kombat 1 had they were planning to do a third year, I kind of have a hard time imagining that they were going to do another Mortal Kombat game right away. So I'm guessing it was that's probably Injustice 3 that they've been working on, or a completely different IP, something completely different that they haven't done before. Whether it's they got a new license to work with, or they're just making something new or original, or maybe even a spin-off game. Like, who knows? But I don't think that they were working on on Mortal Kombat 2/13. My best guess would be that was most likely Injustice 3 or a completely new IP, something new. But whatever they were making, I could see getting scrapped or being repurposed into potentially another new Mortal Kombat game, because WB needs that money, and Mortal Kombat was still profitable, and just who knows? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. There's reasons why it could be there's reasons that make sense why it could just be another new Mortal Kombat, but there's also reasons that make sense why it wouldn't be, and that it could be another Injustice game or something completely different. If it was a side Mortal Kombat game, like a Shaolin Monks 2 or something like that, even if that was the case, which I don't think it is or was, but even if that was the case, I'm guessing it would probably get scrapped in favor to just do a Mortal Kombat 2/13 or something else that's actually a fighting game. What if the next game that they come out with is something new, or if it even is Injustice 3, and what if that does actually do better in sales than Mortal Kombat 1? What if whatever they come out with is something other than Mortal Kombat, and it actually does better than Mortal Kombat 1, and then they come out with another Mortal Kombat game after that, and that doesn't do as and that's back down and doesn't do as well as whatever else? It's an interesting scenario I've thought about, because if that was how things played out, let's just say it's a new IP that they're working on right now, and it just sells like 10 mil. Let's say it sells like 8 to 10 mil, and then they come out with Mortal Kombat 13 Mortal Kombat 2/13 after that, and it only sells like 5-6 mil. I could see WB being like, well, damn, Mortal Kombat's kind of on a down right now. Let's focus more on this new IP that you got that was a hit, and let's do more of that. Unless, after they do more of that and sales go drastically down, and then like, okay, let's bring Mortal Kombat back to steer the ship in the right direction again. But I could see, if NRS makes anything else that isn't a Mortal Kombat game that starts to sell better than Mortal Kombat, then Mortal Kombat could be in trouble as IP. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I mean, the only other thing that we know for sure that's even coming up Mortal Kombat related, this next year, I believe it will be sometime this next year, we'll have the Mortal Kombat 2 live action movie, which is most likely going to not be very good, and most likely going to bomb, would be my prediction. But I'm going to watch it and enjoy it as much as I can nonetheless. But we could be seeing sometime over the next couple years the Mortal Kombat IP getting potentially severely damaged to the point where it's not being used. But we'll have to wait and see. I hope that doesn't happen, because even if it's a game like MK1, I'd rather have an MK game than no MK game. But I do wish they would learn from their mistakes and stop it with all the gimmicks and just do something like MKX but without variations. Simple. Go back to the MKX formula. Drop the variations gimmick, but go back to the MKX formula. Design the characters fully like they were in MK9, but with MKX mechanics. There you go. That's what MKX was until you threw on top of it this variation gimmick system, which was not needed. It really was not needed. But anyways, that's all I got for now. I'll catch you guys later. Hit that like button, subscribe for more videos like this, more topic videos in the future and whatnot. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your opinion on all this, on what's going on with MK1 and just Mortal Kombat in general. What do you think's going to be NRS's next game? Do you think it's going to be another Mortal Kombat or something else? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time here on ICMK.